we started to read more into their relationship, and obviously Johnny Cash struggled with substance abuse and alcohol abuse, and I just like, after doing research, it wasn't like all sunshine and rainbows, you know, and so that song is kind of just like a letter to June, like, how did you do it?
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl, and right now we're here at our iHeartRadio headquarters in New York City, hanging out with Megan Moroney. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you here in New York City on our stomping grounds. Last time I saw you, you were still in Nashville, I think, right?
I was.
How does it feel being back in the city?
I mean, I love it. I'm here for like 3 days, so got a packed schedule, but we are here.
Making the most of it. And it's really fun because this morning, I watch the Today Show every single morning. I was getting ready, and I look up, and I hear you singing Tennessee Orange on there. I was so excited. I was like, Megan's coming to us next at iHeart. And I was so surprised. This was your first live TV, like, morning appearance, right?
It was. Yep. I've done the college game day where I got to sing like a chorus, but this was like the first real, morning TV.
How was it? Do you get nervous before something like that? Is it a different set of nerves?
Not really nervous, just because there's no audience there, but it's more like my band had never done it, so it was cool. I told them they need to put works well under pressure on their resumes now because they did great.
Yeah. And it looked great too. I love the outfits.
Yeah, I put them in some bedazzled pearl snaps.
And that's what we all need, honestly. I also learned an interesting fact about you from this interview, that your first band was your dad and your brother.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
We used to do an acoustic trio in college. I didn't know how to put together a band or anything, but they taught me how to play. So I was like, when I had gigs, I'm like, why don't y'all just play with me? So.
Would they ever come back on tour now?
I've been trying, so I can't afford my brother. He's an attorney, so I'd have to, pay him more than he gets paid now, which would be difficult. But I'm actually having my brother come play with me at the CMA Fest.
Really?
Yeah. So my band and I are going to do the Riverfront stage, but then
that's so fun.
My brother's going to do Nissan Stadium. We're doing the platform stage, and so I'm having my brother come. And
what are those rehearsals like with your brother? Because I have an older brother, and I feel like I would kill him if he messed up. I feel like I'd be like on him.
Well, he's really good, so I've never seen him mess up. So.
That's so funny. Your brother obviously has a different career path than you. He's not a country music singer, but you were originally going to do something else besides music in college, right?
I went to college to be an accountant, so.
Which is so wild to think about.
It is. I think I'm much happier than I would have been had I gone the accounting route. So.
When did you know that you were going to make the switch to music? Or what was the first nudge where you were like, this could maybe be a career for me?
So I joined a sorority my freshman year, and, the spring semester, we had a philanthropy event where we hired John Langston to come play, and we used all of our budget on him. But at the time, I had been posting, well, I guess ever since I've had Instagram, I've posted videos with like my dad and my brother and us doing harmonies and just singing country songs. So I was known as the country singer. So I got to open for him then, but it was like a philanthropy event where it was just everybody in my sorority. It wasn't like a real show. But Chase Rice was there, and he was like, why don't you open for me, first of 3 at the Georgia Theater next month, but you have to write an original song. So I wrote my first song to be able to play that. I had a month to do it. So I wrote the song. I played that show. It was sold out by the time, the month had gone by, and I just fell in love with performing, and I was like, the song wasn't half bad, so I was like,
what
maybe.
Was the song? Which song?
It was called "Stay in Memory," so I haven't released it. There's some clever lines in there, but yeah, I don't know if I'll ever release that one. Maybe.
Can I say, I went to Georgia, the Georgia Theater. That's a sacred place.
Yeah, that was like my first real gig. My first like real gig was first of 3.
Oh my God, it's so cool. Yeah, because I feel like people don't even realize it. Like Athens, Georgia,
it's
too.
Iconic.
It's like John Mayer, REM, B-52. So many people come through that town. That's so cool. I didn't realize that was your first one.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Very cool.
It's been wild to watch your career. I'm so excited for you because I've told you this the first time we talked. I'm such a fan. I think you're such an amazing songwriter. And we talked about our love for Casey Musgraves and like the play on words. Your debut album has been out for a little bit. How have fans been reacting? What's it like to see them interact with the music?
I'm just happy it's finally out because I've had these songs on my phone for so long that I've been wanting to share. And so far, everybody has just loved it, which I'm grateful for. Like, I asked on my Instagram, like, what's y'all's favorite song? And there isn't a consensus. Everyone has different favorites. So that's exciting for me because I think it's like, depending on what you're going through, that's what you pick your favorite,
Yeah.
So it's been cool to see everybody pick different favorites. And it's cool that it's out now. And I can just be like, hey, play my album. I can listen to it.
I have to say, I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok talking about Sleep on My Side, which the lyrics of that one are pure gold. But you also had to clear something up about Sleep on My Side.
Yeah, so people were confused, like, are you sleeping on your side of the bed or your physical side? And when I wrote it, it was just my physical side.
I thought you meant my side of the bed.
I'm like, okay, just interpret it how you want to. Some people are like, it's more poetic if it's your side of the bed because that means you're being good. And I'm like, no, I literally just,
run with it.
I'm a side sleeper. I sleep on my right side. Yeah. So that's kind of all that was.
Any other lyrics that people have asked you about that you've had to clear up or that have taken on a new meaning that you were surprised by?
Someone asked about Another on the Way. They were like, why does Miss Daisy have a skull tattoo on her ring finger? Did she kill her husband? And so I'm gonna have to think on that, and maybe there will be an extended version
else.
And really, maybe if we do a music video for
we need
it,
a spin-off. Maybe we have a spin-off song of that.
Yeah, I can clear things up maybe.
I have a couple favorites. Can I tell you what they are?
Of course.
Why Johnny? I cannot get over that one.
That one hurts.
When did you write that? Like, have you always loved Johnny and June? Like, did you always love that story? And how did you come up with the song?
So I wrote that with Connor Matthews, and he brought in the idea, why Johnny? And he was like, let's make it like, why Johnny did you set the bar so high? Because like I knew very little about Johnny and June. Like I knew they were an iconic love story, but I was like, okay, I'm down. But like I really don't know enough about them to write a song on them. So let's just like do some research. And so we looked into the timeline of their relationship. I didn't realize that they were married to two different people when they met backstage at the Opry. All I heard was, it was romantic. They met backstage at the Opry.
Right. It's like, you always hear like Johnny and June, but you don't know what they went through, right?
And they were married to two different people. So immediately I was like, oh, that's new. And we started to read more into their relationship. And obviously Johnny Cash struggled with substance abuse and alcohol abuse. And I just like, after doing research, it wasn't like all sunshine and rainbows, their relationship. And so that's when I was like, I can't write, why did you set the bar so high? I kind of like had empathy for June. And I was like, June, how did you do that? You know? And so that song is kind of just like a letter to June, like, how did you do it? And kind of commending her for her strength because she stuck around. So
I love that take on it too, because we've all been there. It's like when you're in love, but you're like, when do I stop?
Is he gonna start writing me poems every day? Like, is this gonna switch?
Exactly. So I love that one. And then the other one that I really love is Mustang or Me.
Yeah, that's also a sad one. In your
sad
girl era.
I'm like, okay, I'm out of myself.
Depending on what you're going through, I just said that's your favorite. It's okay. Noted.
So right. Oh, but it's funny. You're right. I guess depending on what the fans, like you said, what they're in, like the defense. I'm in my sad girl era, and I love that. Mustang or Me, was this like a personal experience? Walk me through this process.
Yeah, so I drive a 2010 Mustang. It's my high school car. I've just had it since high school, and that song is obviously about a breakup and going home back to see my parents after a breakup. So yeah, it's kind of I had that title and I brought it in and I wrote it with some of my good friends, and it was just so easy to write, and I'm excited that it's like the only piano leading song on the record, and I love that about it. So
when you play that one live, is that going to be a little different?
No, I'll play it on the piano.
You will play it on the piano?
Yeah. The whole band like kicks in by the second verse, I think. So, but it starts with piano, which I really love. So.
And it's so interesting to think about like your parents also, you know, they're watching you go through these experiences. And it takes me to a whole like different nostalgic place of like, again, growing up in Georgia and like in summers at home, when you think back to your childhood and spending it in the summer and like paint the picture for me, what comes to mind? What did Megan's summers look like growing up?
So we had a neighborhood pool, and
the pool was like the neighborhood pool was a place,
and we had a huge one. Like it was like the biggest one I think in the county, which was like interesting. When they built it, they were like, that's what they bragged about. Like we had the biggest pool in the neighborhood or in all the neighborhoods.
It's the little things.
The big things. everybody used to come over, and my mom would make everyone like sandwiches or burgers and stuff. Like my mom was the mom that was always involved, and like everybody, Miss Moroney was like,
oh my god, was she the one with like the little Ziploc bags of the oranges, the Capri Suns too?
Yes, 100%. And she was at every event. Like for spring break, my mom would come with us, and my mom would be like, you know, the mom that's like making sure everyone has sunscreen on. So my mom was just very involved with my childhood and all my friends, and me and my friend Caitlin hosted a lot of the get-togethers. So.
At the pool
or her house. Yeah, it was like the pool where we lived or her house. So.
And now growing up, were you always involved in music? Did you do theater, sports? Like what was like?
I did theater.
You did theater. Were you?
For 2 of the 4 years of high school. I didn't really like the acting part, but I did like the singing, and I did choir and I did a cappella choir. I was in that too. This is funny. I got voted most improved in chorus one year in high school. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Most improved? Like, y'all, I'm already good.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about, but my mom, I wish we would have kept the trophy. But when we moved, my mom was like, do you want me to keep this? And I was like, no. I have a most improved in chorus trophy. Like,
you need to go back to him and be like, listen, y'all, I am really improved, okay? My album's out.
I don't know what that was about, but.
Did you ever think about, like, was it ever your dream to do, like, acting or theater from that? Or did you always kind of know that, like, maybe music was going to be the route at some point?
I liked doing music, and it's always made me happy, but where I'm from, like, that's not on career day, people don't come in and they're like, well, I'm a songwriter. I'm a country music artist, like, that's just, like, not a thing.
Right.
So I didn't even think that was possible or, like, an option for me. So
what was the first thing you wanted to do, like, when someone came in for a career day?
I mean, the coolest job was, like, the Georgia Power people, like they had, like,
and they always came. You're so right. They were always there.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They were cops. That was cool. Like, you know what I mean? The only reason I did accounting, too, is because I was, like, decent at it.
So you're a numbers person? You're a math person?
I was at a time. I think now, if I tried to do my taxes, that would be bad. But at a time, like, I liked it just because there was nothing that was subjective. Like, it is what it is,
Yeah,
And it was like.
And now you're in the fully opposite where everything's
is subjective, yeah.
You sleep on your side, you sleep on your literal side.
We love that.
It's also funny that I was telling you this weekend, we had our big iHeart Country Festival, and I got some time to talk to Sam Hunt, who's also from Georgia. And I was saying there's a lot of Georgia people now, but we were saying how, like, Georgia really is, like, it's such a special place. It's such a distinct culture. The people are so distinct. For you, like, what does it mean for you being from Georgia, representing Georgia in country music?
I feel like, the biggest thing when I think of Georgia is football. And I feel like just the South and the culture of the South is kind of like, I just love going home. It's, like, not stressful or anything, like my... view on Georgia has kind of changed now because I don't get to go there that much. But now that when I get to go home, I'm like, okay, I can relax. Everything's peaceful.
Does anyone heckle you about Tennessee Orange? Are they like, Megan, how dare you? You still give the dogs a shout out, though.
I still want the dogs to win. So I think that really saved me. Had I not included that at the end, I think we would have some big problems. But I think for the most part, everyone's been really supportive. Like when I played in Athens, that was like the loudest I've heard it get sung back to me at one point. So
I bet.
I was nervous though. I'm like, are they going to throw oranges at me and stuff? They're going to like throw things at me and boo me off stage.
Yeah.
But they didn't, thank God.
So you're playing some of your shows later this year, right? Your own shows. But right now you're on tour with Brooks and Dunn, yeah?
Yep.
Which is so exciting. What's it like being with them?
Well, they're legends. So I've been, going and watching the show every night. Like,
really?
I'm like so excited to see it every night. And it's just, these are arenas, so really big, which has been, I'm finally getting used to it. At first it was a little intimidating, but now I'm getting more comfortable. And it's just, crazy to even say that like, oh yeah, I'm on tour with Brooks and Dunn. It's like, what?
Getting to watch your show, it's always interesting. Different artists do different things and they approach shows different ways. Anything that you've taken away from their show or the way that they interact with their fans that you want to bring to your own show?
They're just great performers. Like the first show that I saw them was the first night. That was in Kansas City, like the first night of the tour. And I was like, they've won Entertainer of the Year several times, right? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, just making that clear. Like Kix does this little like guitar thing when he spins around. And I was like, he knows what he's doing.
The little guitar, you're right. I love it. So much great country music out there right now. I could see you covering a lot of other pop songs that I hear. Sometimes I hear it, like with cool songs that are out, different genres. I'm like, oh, that could be a country song. Like Harry Styles' album or SZA's album. Would you ever cover one of those songs? Anything in particular you've thought of where you're like, this would be a good country song?
Kill Bill would be a dope country cover.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I would do that, yeah.
that I feel like that matches the vibe.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You're my Sagalera, you're in your Kill Bill vibe. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay, so you're going on tour, your album's out. What else can we look forward to from you this year? Give us the full rundown.
Well, hopefully we have some collabs coming up this year.
Really?
Hopefully.
Ooh, okay.
And just, I'm touring literally until mid-December. So we're going to a lot of new places. My UK tour just announced. We're upgrading rooms already over there, which is cool. So
any place in particular in the UK tour you're excited to go?
Well, I've never even been there. So I'm just excited to go in general.
Oh my God. You're going to have the best time.
Yeah. It's cool that like the first time I'm getting to go there, I get to actually play music too. That's awesome.
When you're on tour, you're going to these different cities. Anything that you like to do? Like, do you have to see anything in a city? Do you like to pick up souvenirs? Do you eat at certain places?
I like to try new restaurants, but I've had some time on this Brooks and Dunn tour because we get there in the morning. But on my headlining tours, it was kind of like it's a rushed thing and I'm there all day and I don't really have time to explore. But we've had some time to explore on the Brooks and Dunn tour and we've really just been trying out restaurants. I'm always on the hunt for a good margarita. So.
Oh, yes. Are you tequila or mezcal? I've been drinking mezcal margaritas all summer.
Tequila. Blanco.
Okay, Meg, summer 2023, it's kicking off. What do you cheers into with your margarita in hand?
We're cheersing to Lucky.
We're cheersing to Lucky. I love it. Megan Moroney, thank you so much for being here. Always great chatting with you, and I'm so excited for everything to come.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Make sure you stream all of Megan Moroney's music on iHeartCountry, including her new album, Lucky, that's out now. And we'll see you next time. We're going to go drink some margaritas. Bye, guys.